All right, everybody, welcome back. Live at Drew's house, another edition. Hope everybody is doing well. Happy holidays to you and yours. Well, for those of you who know, in the news business, I am joined by a legend here today. Stanley Forman joins me as he
Mine.
a legend, legend in his own mind. I am thrilled by this. I'm going to bring Stanley in here because you are actually coming to us on the beat right now. In your final hours of work before retirement, you're in a car waiting on a story. This is the life that has brought you so much excitement.
Yeah, I'm actually south. My favorite McDonald's, southbound on Route 1 in Saugus. I stop here a couple of times a day. I sit here for a long time. People don't know me by name, but they know me my face, and I just wave. I want large or small, and they know what I drink. It's all good.
Absolutely. So I mean, we'll talk about some of the pictures in a second. First of all, it's great to meet you. Happy holidays to you, and hopefully the family's doing well. You got the Channel 5 hat there.
Yep.
How has it been here through the pandemic? You getting through okay?
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I'm here is because of the pandemic. I used to sit, years ago, I'd sit in Boston, and then I started sitting at the Market Basket parking lot. I spent a lot of time there in Chelsea, and then the pandemic came, and I didn't like going. I just wanted to get away from a lot of people, so I came here. And I don't want to say I've been welcomed, but I've known the owner for years, and not that it matters. You know, I'm a customer, all right? I'm a paying customer every day.
So tell us a little bit about how your days have gone here in recent years. Essentially, you just kind of wait for the news to happen, and when it does, you fly on out of here like you do if it happened right now, right?
That's correct. I don't speed anymore. I'm too old for that. I get there. That's all. I managed to get there in a safe and secure and slow way.
Okay. I feel like this is, I once had Don McLean on this show, and I felt like I'm probably going to ask you the question about American Pie, and you're probably sick of that. You're probably sick of this, but the question, the picture that you took that, of course, is known all over the country and all over the world, with the clash there in Boston and the American flag. Tell us a little bit about that, especially for the younger people, how that photo all came about, the scenario behind it.
The title of the picture is The Soiling of Old Glory. April 4th, 1976. I went to an anti-busing rally at Boston City Hall. I got there when the demonstration, they were up there in the group, South Boston High people, mainly, were up in the city council, Boston City Council chambers, having cookies and milk with Louise Day Hicks. And they had their own flag. As they were leaving, they bumped into a group of, first they bumped into a group of high school students. You know, I used to remember the name of the school from Rosendale. They were doing a little visit, and some scuffles broke out. And then as they left by the stairs, by the big doors, they spotted a black man, Ted Landsmark, and they just went out. There was actually two black men there. One was able to dodge the onslaught, and Ted was not.
What did you know? How about positioning? Was it lucky? Was it a little bit of prep work?
Is it lucky? Luck. I think it was not Leo DeRocha. It was Commissioner. But luck is the residue of hard work. I know my equipment. I have good instincts. In my head, it just popped. Something's going to happen, and I ran down. I didn't have the right lens on, and I had the motor drive. Camera. I had two cameras in the motor drive, and sometimes those motor drives were dysfunctional. And in the middle of shooting the scene, I realized that the film was not transporting correctly. I could hear it, thankfully, and I started shooting one frame at a time, and I got the picture.
I knew you were going to say that, and I was hoping you were going to say that. And
why did you say that?
Well,
you mean what? You know the story. Why are you asking?
No, the instincts part, I mean. I knew you were going to talk about instincts. Well, I'm happy to hear the other story too, but I'm very happy to hear you talk about instincts, because so much of your job really is that, right? It's anticipating, and whether that be experience or just your gut feeling at a scene, you have to rely on those instincts every day, don't you?
Yes. I mean, Tuesday, was it Monday? What's today? Monday of this week, I had some, what doesn't matter, Monday or Tuesday, I forget which day it was. I had an appointment. It was Monday. I had a doctor's appointment, and I was just basically killing time. I had left here. Talk about it. I had gone home to pick something up, and I was working, and there was a call. As soon as I get back here to get my second cup of coffee, I drink ice. Anybody wants to buy it? It's sugar-free, French vanilla ice, by the way, very little milk. And the first call I heard was a Saugus sergeant say, "I've got the murder suspect car in front of me." And the next thing you know, he said, "I'm heading north on Route 1." He was in downtown Saugus. I started heading south, and I was thinking I would get Kelly's roast beef at the overpass there. I would go north and get, but they came to me. He said, "Oh, he's going over that ramp. They have a name for it." And instinctively, I got in line with them, but safe enough, and I was the only one there when they made the capture.
Wow.
Knowing what to do after I heard the call.
Wow. That's just life on the job. So that's an everyday sort of thing. How did the soil, I meant to ask you this as a follow-up a second ago, the soiling of Old Glory, how did that change your life? Because that picture just, it exploded. It went everywhere. Kids to this day look at it, it's timeless. How did that change your life?
Well, did it really change my life? I don't know. All I know is how to work. I'm going to wrap up 55 years. Did it change my life? Well, we're still talking about an image I took 45 years, going on 46 years in April. Did it change my life? I guess so. No one said to me, "You don't have to work anymore." I still go to work. I still do what I do. And I guess I'm tagged, as they say on Facebook. I'm tagged with an iconic picture. My picture will always be remembered. I don't think down the road someone's going to say, "Oh, that was Stanley Forman's picture," unless my family's up.
Enough people will be saying that. Did it remind you of these protests here over the last year? Did it bring back any memories that were similar to that?
When I started in 1966, and the anti-Vietnam War protests started. And I think the first thing I did, I wish I had the picture, was when someone burned their draft card in Post Office Square. I did Daniel Ellsberg. Yeah, it brings back. I think they were a little more. I don't think the protests nowadays are much more violent than they were in different areas, but they're much more violent than they were. And they were pretty violent in the 60s with the bombings and everything else. But these are, when they get going, it's pretty scary stuff.
Absolutely. I'm joined here by Stanley Forman, the outstanding photographer here for Channel 5. And what drew you into the news business initially? Did anything draw you in? Did you get here? Did you know you wanted to do it?
When I was a kid, I was a fire buff. And I got my license, and I used to go to all these, if there was red and blue lights. I have an expression. I love the roar of the sirens, the smell of the smoke. And, something, to play on the roar of the grease paint, whatever that. Anyway, and my father said, I was probably about 18. I knew nothing about photography. He gave me a camera. He says, "Well, you're going there. Why don't you take pictures?" And I was a photographer.
Wow. How about that? And were you pretty much self-taught?
And what was I, 20? Yes, 20 years old. My sister said, "Why don't you take a course in photography?" I didn't know what I was doing. My father told me, "Here's a camera, make the flash go off." And my sister suggested, and I like to tell the story, we opened up the Yellow Pages book and looked for photography schools. And we picked Franklin. We're looking through the Yellow Pages, and we picked Franklin Institute. And I went to Franklin Institute. Great. It's still in business, and on Berkeley Street in the South End. And at the end of the year, a person, I can't remember his name right now, came to the school looking for a photographer to travel with then, who was then Attorney General Edward Brooke, was going to run for Leverett Saltonstall Senate seat. And I knew nothing about politics. I probably still don't. And I became his staff photographer.
Wow.
And if he shook your hand, I took his picture, and they had a print. I was up all night. I worked I didn't work 24/7, but they had pictures from events the next day. I was very ambitious and a good worker. And at the end of the election, which he won by 300,000 votes or something, he beat Peabody. They got me an interview. That's all, an interview at the three newspapers, Globe, Herald, and the Record American. And, as I look back, the Record American hired me, thankfully, and it was a great place to work. 16 years there.
Wow. Stanley Forman, I got to know, what's the most fascinating story you ever got to cover?
There's no such thing anymore. It really isn't. I mean, it just keeps coming at you. You just don't. That's the best part about the job. You don't know what you're going to get next. I'm on the road till the 31st. I don't wish anything bad to anybody, anything happening. I'd like to come up with a good animal rescue story. That would end it nicely.
There you go. I like that very much. So you talk about how you love it all coming at you. You're going to miss it, aren't you?
I'll miss it, but the radios will be on. The sound of music is my scanners.
All right, well said. Is there somebody that maybe you met in the newsroom, or just you love the way they went about it, that really connected with you? Maybe like your favorite news person all time?
When I was a kid, my father got the Record American every morning. He used to bring home the Sunrise edition. He'd come home from work at night, and he'd bring the Sunrise, and there was a photographer by the name of Rollie Oxton. And every once in a while you see a picture of him in the paper, and he worked all night. It was the most exciting thing I thought there could be working all night. And I ended up working with him. He was a real mentor to me, and I am friends with his son now. They grew up in Nahant, and I became good friends with one of his sons about 5 or 6 actually over 10 years ago. He was my idol, and I got to work with him.
Very cool. Is the Soiling of Old Glory your favorite photo because it's the most famous, or is there something else that sticks with you?
Well, you got to remember the fire escape's pretty good. Fire escape collapse is a pretty good image too.
That's
it just doesn't have the lasting effect. Although Time magazine picked it as one of their 100 most 100 in their book, 100 best spot news pictures or news pictures. It's in that. So.
Okay, so you like that one too. All right. How about one that's lesser known? Is there one that will always stick with you, that when you tell people, that are maybe coming over for dinner, it's a great picture that didn't get a lot of attention?
Well, truthfully, I don't do that. But anyway, I'll tell you a story. I'm not. Do you know who I am? We joke about that, but no, I'm not that. I'm not that. And one night, 1986, I was out playing poker with some guys from work, and then I left them, and I went out chasing. I was on vacation, and I went out chasing stuff, and I was living in Rosendale, and on the way home, I bumped into there was a fire on Columbia Road, 238 Columbia Road, and I had people jumping off a burning porch. If you go to my website, I give you a plug, StanleyFormanPhotos.com. You see the pictures. The cop caught the little kid, and then the woman she had to throw her off because she was afraid to jump. She broke her ankle, and then I have it was the boyfriend jumping off the pretty good stuff. Never got anywhere. Page one the next day. As a matter of fact, I think it was Prince Charles was here. Someone I think it was Prince Charles was here, and I pushed him off page one.
It's incredible. As a 35-year-old in this business now, 10, 12 years in a newsroom, I've started to see a little bit, you get some of the older anchors, older news people, and sometimes they struggle to adjust with the new timers coming in. You ever get, it seems it's hard to last like you have and be such a force in the industry with all these young kids. Do they ever annoy you, the young kids out there?
No, you know what? No, it doesn't. I'm envious. They're certainly better photographers than I am.
Oh, come on.
They have good vision. They know the equipment better. Well, they know their equipment. I'm shooting stories on my iPhone. I get there. I did Chase the other day. I got out of the car. What's the quickest thing? I didn't want to waste 20 or 30 seconds getting my real camera out. I ran out with the iPhone and shot it with the video on the iPhone. It was great. So I'm not intimidated by them, and I'm sure they're not intimidated by me. it is what it is out here. You know, yesterday on Facebook, etc. I got the nicest notes about what I've done over the last 55 years. And one funny note said, well, you used to beat us. Now that you're going to just chase the little things, you were beating us 99% of the time. Hopefully it'll only be down to 70%. It's pretty the first one there when you're the only one being there.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Is that you? And you definitely take a lot of pride in that, right? I mean, I know just you're up early, you're up and at 'em, and you want to be the first one to every scene.
Yeah, we all do. But I've been given the opportunity. I don't have a reporter with me. I'm not stuck somewhere else. Even when I was stuck somewhere else with somebody, we'd get there. But this is my job for the last few years has only been the cruisers. Like I'm going back to the 60s, where all I did, no reporter and cruise. It's not an easy job, but it's not that hard. It's not brain surgery. It is not brain surgery.
Is it is the biggest change over the years the technology, or is it something else?
Oh, the technology. I wish I understood. I know how to take pictures, but I wish I had more. I wish I could do more with the technology. I do okay. I'm kind of lazy about it. You know, I'm doing okay.
Very good. What's the what scene? What story was there? A story that you kind of dreaded going to over the years that you got to and kind of changed your perspective and said, "Wow, that was really something," and you've grown to love it? Or is there a story that you look back on that really touched you?
Oh, it's probably lots of stories like that, but I always dreaded going to the State House. It was never fun. Boston, we used to do a lot of, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we used to be at City Hall all the time, and then it turns out great. So I can't, I can't be specific.
How about, where were you for what was the marathon for you, that whole crazy week?
It was it was frustrating in its own way. I was sitting at, I forget what they call it, Expressway in South Boston, where the Stop and Shop is and everything. There's a name for it. By the City Hospital and by Boston Medical Center. You go down the Expressway, Dorchester there. I was sitting there. I wasn't I didn't have to cover the marathon, and I heard the first call, and he said, start sending ambulances, and a bomb has just gone off. And I raced, and I got to Huntington Ave behind the crew, and I parked there, and I ran up. I couldn't get through to get to the actual scene, which is probably good. And then I worked until they caught him.
Wow. A crazy week, wasn't it?
Yes, it was awful.
It was awful. Let me throw a name at you. I think it's one you know pretty well. Have you ever let Carl Stevens beat you on a story?
Oh, Carl's now he takes pictures. He's overstepping his bounds with his picture taking and everything else, and he posts them. He's great, great friend, great guy, just great at everything he does.
He is. He's a good man. One of my favorites. He speaks very highly of you as well. You guys are both early risers. You know what you two have in common? You both take fantastic photos of sunsets and sunrises.
Mine are better.
Yours are better.
Every time, and now he's in Revere, my hood. So I'm going down there. I'm going down there New Year. I've made up my mind every year I'm going to be there New Year's morning. The new year comes in. If there's a sunrise you can see, and I did it last year. I really enjoyed it, but it was very cold. I plan to be down Revere on New Year's morning for a picture.
You're on record as being upset that Carl Stevens is now in your area. He's coming into your terrain here.
Yeah, he's in my hood. Carl's in my hood, and he's taking pictures in the morning. And it's not right.
It's not right. Message sent. All right, very good. Final minute or two here with Stanley Forman. What's your best advice to the young kid who wants to be in journalism? What would it be?
Well, I just have to tell you a very funny story. There was a photographer by the name of Gene Dixon, wonderful photographer. He was still using a 4.5 when I started in '66. And when people used to come in, he used to go up to them, go become a school teacher, become a lawyer. There's no future here. And I'm 55 years in the business. Know your equipment, and don't do what's expected. Do what's not expected. Widen your vision.
All right, very good. And get up early.
Yeah. No, I don't need any more competition.
Excellent. Well, what do you plan
I
to do?
lost.
What do you plan to do when you leave the news here? What are you going to do? I know you're going to still follow it and all that, but you're going to take some time for Stanley time or what?
I take Stanley time every day.
There you
I
go.
want. My whole life has been Stanley time that I got to share with my wife and my family. I don't need to do much. I'm kind of simple. Very happy guy. Very happy home life and kids and things like that.
Any golf or anything like that?
No, no. We always talk about doing golf, but I was out for 7 weeks. I just had my knee replaced
Oh,
in October, and we talked about golf. We just never got there. And now no.
all right. Well, Stanley, I personally have admired your work for many years. The photos are unbelievable, and I know what it takes to get to those scenes early and get some of those photos that you get. So thanks for being on it like you are. It's been great to see.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for thinking of me.
Can you do 60 seconds rapid fire here? We always end the show. Just first thing that comes to your head, you got to say.
Oh, might get another coffee.
Yeah, well, maybe. Here we go. This is easy. Don't worry. Favorite musician?
I still love to listen to Sinatra.
All right, good. Favorite movie?
Oh, it's a Paul Newman movie that I always liked, The Philadelphia.
Okay, very good. Favorite venue in the world? Favorite place to go see anything?
I don't have one. I've been to Hawaii a couple of times. I guess you could say Hawaii.
How about like Boston venues, like the Garden, Fenway Park, like one of those?
Oh, I love going to Fenway Park, see a baseball game.
What's the toughest place to shoot?
I haven't found it yet.
Ha! You know what? That's how we're going to end rapid fire. I like that very much. I'm going to let you go get a coffee and go drive to whatever breaking news story you're literally waiting on right now. That's fantastic, Stanley. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for thinking of me.
Good to meet you. Congratulations on retirement. There you go. Legendary photographer Stanley Forman. How about that? Working for Channel 5 right now, of course. You saw the hat. He's literally on the beat as we speak, doing the work. So cool of him to take some time as he gets ready to retire. And man, go look at his photos on his webpage that he plugged, because he's got some epic ones that are a part of American history, not just Boston history, American history. So Stanley Forman, happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to your family. Happy holidays to everybody else out there. We got a few more shows before we hit the Christmas break. We'll see you next week. All right. Live at Drew's house. Peace.